Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back once again. Smackdown live review, WWE Smackdown review. I'm about to hop right on into it. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified of every video that I make. So, Smackdown, quite the interesting show last night. We started right off with the Women's Championship match. I personally didn't like it. We're about to jump into the good and bad of WWE Smackdown. I personally didn't like it that we started off with in-ring entrances, kind of like jobbers do. So I didn't like that, but I did like the feel, the format of the rush of just jumping right into the title match. So I like that much. So as we started the match, it was very interesting. Becky and Charlotte just has incredible chemistry. When it comes to chemistry, and when I look at the four horsewomen, I know some may say that Charlotte and Sasha has the best chemistry, but when it comes to the four horsewomen, Charlotte and Becky have the best chemistry. When it comes to those two, and Sasha and Bayley have the better chemistry when it comes to those two. So Charlotte and Becky, another great match. I enjoyed it very much. We had some BS in it, but we had some nice spots as well. Charlotte with the moonsault miss to the outside. That was very interesting. Charlotte had the natural selection and practically the win before Becky rolled to the outside. It's a very interesting match. The BS came when, I don't know why they are teasing Becky as this cowardly heel. It's ready to walk off every time, but I do not like it whatsoever. She tried to walk out, Charlotte throws her back into the ring. She tried to use the title, and we had this stupid moment where the ref is like, no, don't you use the title. And like, a very stupid moment, but it was just fine because it did not result into the end of the match. Charlotte tried to go for the roll-up. Becky tried to go for the other roll-up. Didn't work. The match would end as Charlotte looked up at the referee at the outside, threw Bayley to the barricade, and they both got counted out. That was like, okay, I didn't have a huge problem with that, but like, Charlotte cannot get up, look at the referee, and throw Bayley into the barricade while the referee is counting down in the middle of a title match. At least have a spot where they both get knocked out and then you count them out. So, I mean, from that aspect, I didn't like the finish, but the match was fantastic. It most certainly goes into the good category. In post-match, we got a nice brawl, and we got a fantastic spear through the LED board. The post-match goes into the good as well. That would go on to set up the match at Evolution, Last Woman Standing. This is basically the main event. It's probably not going to go on as the main event, which ticks a lot of people off. I'll talk about that at some point. So, moving on, fantastic match, good category. Moving on, we had Samoa Joe versus Jeff Hardy. And this was a qualifying match for the World Cup, which is basically the US Cup so far. So during this match, it was basically a story on the injured knee of Samoa Joe. It was heavily bandaged, and we told a story. Samoa Joe's left knee, heavily bandaged, excuse me. He kicked the steps with the bad leg. Jeff Hardy stepped on the knee multiple times. That would result into Joe falling, and that would be the end of the match. Due to the weight of his knee and due to the weight of his knee giving out, Samoa Joe would lose the match. The ending came off very flat to me. I understand the story that they were going for. I appreciate the story that they were telling, but I do like the fact that Samoa Joe did not take a pinfall loss or a submission loss here. And this was a solid enough match. It didn't knock the socks off. It didn't blow anything away, but it was a solid enough match to go into the good category. I'm very interested to see where they go with Samoa Joe from here on in, because I really think that his momentum is done, but we'll see how it goes going from here on out. Next up, we had Miz TV, and it featured Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. Miz said he would try to be as respectful as possible, as professional as possible, excuse me. It started with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles being very respectful towards each other, a cordial handshake. Like, I don't want to see that. The Miz was right. Nobody wants to see that. But it finally got interesting when Daniel Bryan said that he knows that he can beat AJ Styles. They both stood up, got in each other's faces, thought something was about to go down, but AJ Styles started talking about punching The Miz. He asked Daniel Bryan how it was to punch The Miz in the face, and I didn't like it, but when The Miz lost it, that was awesome TV, no pun intended. He called out AJ Styles for not main eventing with the WWE title, said that he had next. It was just, when The Miz has this special effect, he has the Paul Heyman effect, to where when he gets going, you just gotta have to stop what you're doing. You gotta stop what you're looking at the phone. Just last night, I was looking at my phone, The Miz started talking, I just put the phone down and looked up. I was like, okay, I have to see this. Because when he gets going, it is fantastic television. Just reminded me the Talking Smack promo. He just lost it, quote unquote. And you just have to pay attention to what he says. He ran down Daniel Bryan, he ran down AJ Styles. It was phenomenal television. Apparently, The Miz has next. And this one definitely goes into the good category. And it was enjoyable TV as well. So that led us to Shelton Benjamin versus AJ Styles. And talk about chemistry. These guys have phenomenal chemistry as well, no pun intended. Shelton Benjamin has been on a roll lately, and he had great chemistry with Daniel Bryan. I showed great chemistry with AJ Styles. I think Shelton Benjamin has earned the right to be placed into some significant title shot or significant title feud or significant feud, to where he's not just in the back and catering, doing nothing. He had a phenomenal match with AJ Styles. There were plenty of spots to where I enjoyed it. They got the crowd into the match as well. I enjoyed the top rope slip under that AJ Styles did, which led to an electric chair from AJ Styles as well. AJ Styles picked up the victory, and I gotta say that I enjoyed the match, but the announcing really took away from the match, in my opinion. The announcing with Daniel Bryan and The Miz going at each other, I really don't like when we have opposing sides on the announcing table. Maybe, I like the fact that when one wrestler comes in, that's fine. When we have two guys going at each other, it really takes away from the match. And it really took away from AJ Styles and Shelton Benjamin here. However, it was not enough to take it away from the good category, as as AJ Styles and Shelton Benjamin goes into the good category here. So next up, we had Aiden English, and we had the payoff to the One Night in Milwaukee tease. We got to the video. Obviously, of course, we got to the video and Lana said, I want you to know that they appreciate Aiden English and all that they did for him. Aiden English then went to push up on Lana, and he paused the tape, said that if Rusev wanted the tape destroyed, he had to come out, he had to dump Lana. So I knew that this angle was gonna fall short, but I didn't know it was gonna fall short like this. Rusev comes out, Lana comes out. Lana said that Aiden English was hacked. So let me get this straight. Rusev and Lana are Russian hackers here. Let me get that straight. That's what's going on here. So they hacked into Aiden English's account. They played the video. Of course, Lana goes on to reject Aiden English, and Aiden English drops to push up on Lana anyway. He said that she could enjoy some Aiden nights if the Rusev days wasn't good enough. That led to Rusev chasing Aiden English around, giving him the beatdown. And I just gotta say that, look, I knew that this wasn't gonna live up. It was very nice in the beginning. We saw it, and we got the tease. It was very fun, and of course, it didn't live up. So I didn't like the segment whatsoever. And this goes into the bad category. So that's the first entry into the bad category. So I gotta say that SmackDown moved along really well. This was the first segment of the night where it was like, why is this here? This is boring. And, let's just get on with it. And we got on with it, and it was what we thought it would be. So moving on, we had The Big Show versus Randy Orton. And I gotta say, this was a WWE World Cup qualifying match. And in 2018, having the Big Show and Randy Orton main event was not a good idea, in my opinion. The match was decent enough. It was good to see the Big Show back. It was even better to see the angry Big Show back. And like Big Show, there's a spot for WWE. There's a spot for Big Show in WWE when he's angry, not the lovable giant or the crying Big Show. We don't want to see that guy. The angry Big Show, there's a spot for him here. As for this match, we had a nice hanging DDT that Randy Orton did, the top rope DDT. It was sick to see Big Show, all that weight on the top rope. It was a sick draping DDT. I loved it very much. As for the match overall, I didn't like it. I thought it was average at best. So I don't do average, so we have to determine, was it closer to good or was it closer to bad? I think it was closer to bad, given that it was the main event of the show. I didn't really like it. I do like the result that Randy Orton won. I gotta say that when Big Show went up for that chokeslam and he got the chokeslam, I was already halfway into complaining. Why did Big Show win here? And Randy Orton kicked out and it was like, whew, thank goodness. So Randy Orton picked up the win. Hit the RKO and he stood tall to close the show. So we have the WWE USA Cup, not the World Cup so far. We have John Cena, Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton. And next week, we have the debut of Rey Mysterio, and I really don't like this. It's Rey Mysterio versus Nakamura, a possible dream match. I've talked about this before, and it's for a qualifying match into the World Cup. I mean, there was so much they could have done with this first time matchup, but it's for a qualifying match. I really don't like that. As for this show overall, I definitely have to put it into the good category. It started strong, then it kind of faded off a little bit towards the end, if you ask me, but overall, it's definitely in the good category. It had great pacing, and SmackDown, watching SmackDown and watching Raw, it's just like night and day for whatever reason. It's just the pacing is just so aesthetically pleasing to watch on Tuesdays with those 2 hours. Wasn't the greatest SmackDown overall, but it goes into the good category. So those are 5 segments or matches into the good category, 2 into the bad. Let me know what you think about SmackDown. Whether it be on Twitter, you can find me at OMGCoreyB or at 2SweetPod. You can find me on there, or you can comment down below on YouTube. Let me know what you think about SmackDown overall.